Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Truth, Tall Tales, and Whiskey. We got Miss Carissa Carter out here from Sulphur Springs, yes?
Yep. You
Born and raised?
No, I was actually born in Indiana. We moved there when I was 7, so I'm a Hoosier by birth, Texan by right.
And you moved to Sulphur Springs, of all places.
My grandmother lived there. You'll have to take that up with her.
I'm just kidding. We talked about I hang out there all the time. So, how did you get started in music?
Let's see. I've been singing for as long as I can remember. Never thought I was any good at it. And then I moved to a new church, and I had gotten a guitar a couple years ago that I had played a couple weeks and never touched it again. And my grandmother decided to come visit that Sunday, and she walked right up to the preacher, and unbeknownst to me, she had heard me singing in the backyard one day, and she looked him dead in the eye and said, "Carissa can sing and play." It was a small church, and next thing I knew, I was on stage, and I'm running up to her going, "You lied in the house of God." So, yeah, that's how that all started.
So I think church is a common theme when it comes to the way people started. There's just a lot of people that's where they got their start from.
Yeah.
So what song was it that got you your start?
I honestly don't remember. I just stood there for like the first 6 months. I airplayed Watermelon. I didn't do anything.
What was the first song you remember singing in church?
Honestly, it was on a break. I was singing Smoke Break by Carrie Underwood.
In a church?
Yeah. I snuck outside, like out back before church
For a
started.
smoke break?
Yeah, because it was a 3-chord song, and I thought surely I can learn this one, because all worship songs are usually 3 or 4 chords, and I couldn't get those, so I thought Smoke Break was going to be easy. It had just come out, though, and I was obsessed with it, so.
She was built for these bars.
Well, speaking of, I mean, the first time that I met you, and I think
Yeah.
everybody was at the open mic night,
Yeah,
right?
it was.
And what you told me was,
I
you
was
said,
not.
somebody told me that I should stop singing in front of these cows and get
Yeah.
out
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, so I didn't grow up on a farm, but my back pasture until next year, believe it or not, will have been... My back fence line was a pasture, and next year it'll have a school behind it. I'm sad. It's fine. But the owner, he always had his cows there. But like to this day, I did a reel the other day out there, and they come up to the fence when I start singing, and there's a lot of mooing. So if people start booing in the crowd, it's a compliment. So to me, at least.
Unfortunately, I was not at that first open mic, but everybody, I think half the people that are here,
Yeah.
and then the owner of Sweetwater, and everybody texted me and was like, Carissa Carter, Carissa Carter, Carissa Carter. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, I should have been there
That's
tonight.
the
But
thing
then I
about
caught the
these
very
open
next
mics.
Yeah.
Like,
I
if
know.
there's somebody that's like killing it, then everybody kind of goes, that person, who are they? You know?
That night, I was killing it on karaoke.
Well,
Not really. Not
nobody was there to say it was true.
I know, and then I was as I'm like sitting back down at the table. I was
'Cause you're
on my
doing the
phone, I was
wrong
like,
thing on a
Carissa Carter,
Wednesday
Carissa Carter, Carissa Carter,
Yeah.
Booker. And then I came to the next one. I think it was just the very next week, and you said the
Yeah.
same thing. You said somebody said you got to stop singing to all these cows or horses
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, you seem to be killing it. You've
Mm.
recorded a song with us before.
I have. Yeah. That was I think the second open mic I ever went to at Sweetwater. I was out
We
here.
drug you out here after.
Yeah. You were like, let's go to the whiskey locker. And I'm just like, don't kidnap me.
She was like, I gotta be home by this time.
Yes.
And she didn't make it.
And then as
Well,
you come down
not
here,
at
you
all.
pull down just a straight
Were
rock
we
road.
out here until, it was 2 a.m. or something? It was a long night.
That's standard.
Yeah. That's what I learned. Y'all kept going, this is normal. And I was just like, what is this?
Well, I'd like to know, when are you going to start recording some of these songs?
Yep.
I may or may not already be talking to studios on that. So
Well,
I'm
that's good.
working on it.
It's
Yeah.
time.
It is time. It is time. I've got even more now.
Especially the one that you played that made me sad earlier.
That's not actually, believe it or not, that's not even in the top ones I want to record. I haven't played those out, so they're my secrets.
So when we first stumbled across you, it was Carissa, the acoustic act.
It was.
Now it's grown a little further, and you got some
Yeah.
friends with you.
I do.
Let's shout them out.
I have my bassist Tim here with me tonight, and then I've got my drummer Zach. He's here as well. They did an acoustic set earlier with us, with me and Shelby doing Untamed, which we wrote together, which is amazing. But yeah, we have it, and then we have a lead guitarist. We have a 15-year-old Luke Mondahano. He plays with us a lot too. He comes to practices though. He wanted to play in a band, and he was like, "I want to learn." So I was like, "If you want to learn and come to practice and like play with us every now and then, I'm down." So he does that, and then I've got Dylan Gossett, who plays for Bobby Irvin. He fills in with us, and then Carter Sandoval, who was playing for Howard County, he's going to play for us as well. So I'm excited.
So you're just stealing all the musicians.
I'm not stealing them. I reach out and ask and say, hey, if you want to ever fill in for a show or come play full time, you can. And then they like it. So then they want to come back.
It's
so.
what they do.
That is.
Yeah.
That is.
Speaking of, I had to shout him out real quick. Bobby Irwin, we got to get you in here.
You do.
Yeah,
you need
Bobby's
to get Bobby
incredible.
in here.
So Bobby is real connected with the people that make all of our hats. And as you know, I've
Really?
been
That's
very
Mhm.
passionate about the hat thing. That's been my lane the whole time.
Do
Go
have
on,
cool
shout 'em
hats.
out,
When
shout
are you
'em out.
releasing yours?
Outlaw swag. Outlaw swag. But Bobby's actually dating their daughter. And so we work closely
I
with
met
everybody.
her. We did
that
a.
works.
She owns a coffee shop in Kaufman.
For sure. For
Yes,
sure.
they have
And
good
also
coffee.
Dalton Torres. We got to get him in here
Yes.
as well. They're
I'll
all
talk to-
connected
I'll
to
talk
all
to
the
him
same
about that.
people. All our
That's
merch people
cool.
work really well together. So it was cool you shouted him out. I just had to
He's
highlight it a
great. I was
little
about to say, Dylan's always told me, he's like, Bobby's got first like show dates and everything. And I'm like, I totally understand because Bobby's awesome and y'all are best friends, which I'm honored he even comes and fills in. So
So you mentioned her earlier, and I just kind of want to highlight her a little bit and the role she's playing in your in your start here, Miss Shelby Ballinger.
Yeah, we gotta shout her
South
out.
by Southwest True Tall Tales and Whiskey Showcase alum.
y'all should bring me and the guys out for that. And next year, you should. We'll try.
Say less.
We have to schedule that, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We gotta start planning that.
Close. I think you're getting close.
I just got panicked all of a sudden.
I just saw like his eyes get really big, and I was like,
Like,
I
oh,
don't.
man,
think they
that's
started
happening
playing
this
I know a guy. I know a guy.
We're down. We're down.
Continue speaking while I pour my drink. Y'all don't have to.
That drink counter when we need it.
So I'm curious, what are you doing? What are you listening to now that's encouraging or inspiring you to make the music you're making?
You better say local names or they're gonna get mad at you.
You know, I would say local names, but it's actually not local names. It's old names. But Linda Ronstadt has been a huge kick for me lately. I'm obsessed with Heart Like a Wheel. That's not an answer anyone ever expects. but
Yeah, nice.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, no,
That's what I'm looking for. You know,
I honestly, I never really listened to her until my mom the other day told me I needed to check her out. My mom's a huge Linda fan. Did not know that. No vinyls in the record collection I inherited from her, Linda's discography, and now I'm obsessed. And Heart Like a Wheel is a new favorite. And if I ever get to do Windin' or Willin', I can't remember what it's called now. I will. I just want to sing and weed wine
That's killer.
at the top of my lungs.
It's also funny that your mom did not have the vinyl because she stumbled on her in the digital age. So she's listened to her on Spotify,
Yeah.
like all the teenagers.
Yes. Yes.
Brandon, you look like you're younger than all of us, and you just showed your age.
I know. And I do it on purpose. I'm the dad of this group. So I embrace
have
it.
a massive
He's the one that
vinyl
put Baby
collection.
in the corner.
There's just something about dropping the needle down and listening to an album that way, like sitting in your recliner. It's good.
Yeah, it's
100%.
It's cool. It's an experience.
I
for
could have
sure.
a whole
It is.
conversation about that.
That we need to, because I it's embarrassing how many vinyls I have, but it's okay. I don't have enough space.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit here,
Okay.
especially standing in front of this group.
Okay.
What would you tell a young artist that stumbled upon True Tall Tales and Whiskey and asked what was it about?
Lord.
What your podcast is about? Supporting local artists and local musicians, and honestly letting them tell their story, and people get to know them behind the songs, and just saying thank you too.
Damn, that's exactly what we were going for.
I thought
there.
she was going to say debauchery.
Yeah,
I could have swore she was going to say debauchery.
I thought she
No
was gonna
whiskey.
tell me to be a
Hey,
better
y'all
man.
cut that out. Nobody's supposed to know about that. What happens in the locker stays in the locker.
Except for when we post on the YouTube page.
True. So, but we were talking about Shelby earlier. We should get back to Shelby too. We forgot to finish that.
So say it.
What was it say? I met Shelby. Oh yeah, I'm bragging on you. But
One of
I
the
met
hardest people to
Shelby at
book
that
'cause
first
she's
open mic
busy.
in Sweetwater though, and she helped me, showed me ropes. We did shows together. But I thank you. You showed me a lot. So yeah. And then we wrote a cool song together that y'all need to go watch that we just recorded here.
On True Tall Tales and Whiskey.
Yay. Yeah.
It's nice that we got her here because usually she's booked every day.
Every
I know.
freaking day.
What is it? What's the number? It's like 300 shows a year
Whew,
How
at
many?
least.
that's
How many did you play last year?
There's 360.
23 last year, and I've surpassed that for sure this year.
that's wow.
Hard work.
You have incredible vocal stamina. Yeah.
So who? Go ahead.
No, go.
So who is Carissa Carter?
Who am I? Oh, that's honestly, I'm a really big dorky nerd. It doesn't come across that way on stage, but I have a massive Lego collection. I love Harry Potter. If my dream like day off for me would be going through Universal Studios dressed in Gryffindor robes, just casting spells.
You can do that, I think, by the way.
You can. It's just I haven't had a day off to fly and, do all of it. I went one time and I bought a wand and I was obsessed. And now I was like, I need the robes to finish the experience. So
do it.
I am. As soon as I can take time off and fly to Florida. That's hard to do, though, when you're on the road and playing shows. And
We're just glad to have a nerd in here that can relate to Martin. Because
So
he's so happy.
the
I
reason
can see how happy
Martin
he is
is
in
the
the corner.
biggest.
the reason the
nerd.
curtain
Yeah.
the reason we got the
I
curtain
heard-
here is because of his collection that's all around the top of this.
I know. Oh,
I-
yeah, I didn't. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I heard a song about tonight about living. You should live like you know that you're dying, and you should do all the things that you want to do.
We can't talk about this. I'm gonna cry. This is no. You're talking about the one I wrote on Zach Romo's back
Yeah.
porch. Oh, I mean the mic. Yeah. No, that was a good night. No, Matt and I did a. Where are you? There you are. We did a song swap at Sweetwater Grill, and he looked at me and he's like, "We should go back to Zach's house after." And I was like, "I've never been to Zach's back porch. I think Zach and I at this point had met twice." So his band was there. They were having band practice, and we were all sitting there, and it was midnight. Yeah, and I didn't want to leave. Like, it just hit me. I did not want to go home. I wanted to stay there all night, and I've heard stories now about staying there till 5 a.m. But
I've
I
booked
remember-
a show with Zach on his back porch at 7 a.m. for that same day.
Yeah, and we were sitting there, and we had guitars, and we were swapping songs, and I started finger picking what ended up being the melody of the song, and in 30 minutes I had it, and then they started talking about writing a song, and I was like, well, I've got one. I just finished, and then I just played it in here for y'all because you guys made me. So
Before I knew you even had that song, we were listening to you just sitting here finger picking it over there.
yeah,
And
well,
the melody caught me earlier for sure.
being in here with everyone, it made me really sentimental because every time I'm with y'all, it makes me think of that. But the song's called "Said and Done," and it's sad. It's like a happy, sad song, you know.
Yep.
But, yeah,
The best ones.
they are.
Well, just like Brandon, I remember that night being at Sweetwater, you coming in, doing your thing, and
I
me and
remember
Brandon,
you, yeah.
like, instantly, like, I was calling people, he was calling people. And I would love to say, I'm not going to say no names, but I would love to say it all went well. I would love to say everybody was really receptive of it,
Yeah.
but everybody wasn't. Like,
Yeah.
there was a couple of venues that I reached out to personally that
Yeah.
were not real receptive of it and were like,
Yeah.
she needs work, she needs this, she needs that. And like I argued to no end.
And I appreciate that.
And then it came around, and like I said, I'm not gonna bring up any names, but they know who they are. It came back full around, and they called me, and they were like, "All right, I've had enough people call me about this girl. Maybe you were right. I'm gonna book her. We'll see what's up." And I was like, "Call me back when you want to tell me I was right."
yeah,
And I got that call.
I appreciate you fighting for me. That really means a lot.
I got that call. Like
It was
you're
Josh
at
with his
the-
controversy every episode.
I don't give a damn.
I remember being at the
Like,
venue,
yeah,
and they're one of the nicest people I know now. Which
And you've been booked so many times
I know.
by this
Yes.
same group of people, and
Yeah,
they are
yeah.
very successful at what they do.
They are.
And shout out to her. She knows who she is. She knows
They're-
who I'm calling out. I love her.
He's
to
saying
death.
everything but the name of the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
absolutely.
joke.
Like I love her to death. She
Me
knows
too.
this.
Me
But
too.
She's
Yeah.
gonna
it's a funny story because it came full circle, and it was just like
the text that you're gonna get when we drop
You're-
this episode.
your voice is undeniable. Me and Brandon like just looked at each other that night, like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, there are
Where'd
people
this
that
girl
walk
come
in.
from?
People walk in from open night and they're good, and there are people that are exceptional. And that night when you walked in and you kind of you walked up with your guitar, you were like, "So what do I do? What do I need?" Like
Think
very
that-
unsure.
That was the third open mic I think I'd ever went to. And believe it or not, I heard about the one at Sweetwater. Y'all are known up in Denison, believe it or not. That's where I heard about it. I went to Oliver White's open mic up there, which I'll be back there tomorrow night for their Thanksgiving. They call it church. I love it. They have a full band though that gets up on stage. So I just thought open mics had a full band that gets up on stage, which now I know they don't. Most
That's
of the time.
crazy.
No, oh yeah, they'll have a drum set, guitars, basses. People just hop up and play songs. It's church. It is
That's cool.
incredible. Go to Kickbacks. It's insane. But no, they were telling me, they're like, yeah, you should go to the one in Union Valley at Sweetwater Grill. And I was like, what? But they all told me, though, that there were people there who would help me because I had no idea what I was doing. So, and now I know a little more. Not
Well,
much.
she
Yeah.
did her set and everybody went, "Whoop."
Mhm.
all the guys that were singing that night.
Thank
It was
Very
awesome.
cool. And now you're here.
I am.
That's the cool thing. We're all friends
Yeah.
because of it. That
know.
one night, you know?
Yep.
Family.
Life changing.
Yeah.
It's fam.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, drop some heat tonight with things we recorded,
We did.
and we had a cool interview.
We did.
Well, hold on. Before we get out of here,
Whoa.
I got a little something to bring up.
Okay.
Sounds like somebody's been doing good for themselves and got them a few endorsement deals coming
No, it's
up.
not
So
an
let's just
endorsement deal.
start with the.
I've been selling these, but long story short, when I started singing, I didn't know how to warm up and cool down my voice, and I was finishing shows and I sounded awful the next day, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then I found this beautiful little blue bottle that's called a Dr. Vox, and you just blow bubbles into it. It sounds crazy, but I started doing it like 15, 20 minutes a day, and it puts back pressure on your vocal cords and breaks up all the mucus and stuff that can build up and cause nodes. And I swear by it. And the cool thing is, it has a mask too that you can put on it and hold up to your face while you sing into it, and it'll force you to have perfect vocal placement so you can practice muscle memory. So it's incredible. Highly recommend, and it's just 15, 20 minutes a day. But you can get $10 off if you use my name, Carissa, Carissa, on Dr. Vox shop. So highly recommend. But yeah, I started giving it to people I've given voice lessons to. I was like, you need to go get this, because I swear by it now. I even take it on stage at shows sometimes if I know my voice is exhausted, because blowing bubbles for 2 minutes on a break, well, it'll change my voice for like the next 45. It's crazy.
That's cool. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I was about to ask you what advice you would give younger Carissa, but it sounds like you
Younger
just
Carissa, don't be chicken. Don't be chicken. That's what I would tell her. Don't be chicken.
And use that product.
What is this product? It's
I said, and use that product.
Yes, and use this product, which I don't even think existed then. But
I can't
Yeah.
picture you ever being chicken. You
know?
seem
No
very
joke.
outgoing. You walked around Fort Worth one night and were like, hey, can you book my band? Can you book my band?
You know, it's really weird. I was talking with my mom about this because I just got back. I snuck out to Nashville to do some co-writes with some people I'd met here, and I had been like hitting the gas on a lot of things, but I didn't realize that subconsciously, I think that I was unwilling to admit to myself I had been hitting the brakes on a lot, because it feels really out of control already. And leaning into the craziness is hard for me, because it's like, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, you know? And it's been crazy. But I was out there and I was like, dude, I've just been chicken. Like, I have been chicken on a lot of things. Like, not big things per se, but yeah, now I'm giving it gas again. And I'm just trying to lean into the uncomfortableness, which is not fun. But
All gas, no brakes.
yeah, exactly.
It's cool. It does things, though.
It
Yeah.
does. It does. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Like, even now, just noticing like the little bit more I've put the gas down. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's really cool to see, especially getting to hear your new songs and everything before everybody else does stuff like
No one
that.
else has. Yeah. There's some too that I'll be curious to see how people react to. So
Well, we're super proud to put our stamp on you as well, because
I'm-
we feel like you've kind of came up through us, and we came up
I
with
have.
you as
I
well.
have.
So
yeah.
thank you for everything you've done for us as well.
Hey, thank y'all. Seriously.
You're all right.
I'm all right. Hey, y'all are all right.
No, you're great. You're great, Carissa.
No, y'all are great. Yeah, no, seriously, thank you. This is home. So if anybody ever asks, this is home. So
For sure.
yeah.
So you got the song that I showed you ready to play full band at the show?
No, they've not. I don't think they've heard that one before today. I can't sing it and play it most of the time without crying.
You killed it. I got a video of it. No, the song I showed you, Flawless.
Oh yeah, we have that.
Yeah,
one
you ready for
yeah.
that full band?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
No, that one I told them. I was like, that
Alright.
one's got to be ready. Corey's gonna be there. So
Yeah, you're right. I will be there. This won't be out by then, so sorry if y'all
will.
missed this show.
yeah, I will say though too, we may or may not be learning Gun in My Hand for next year. So
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
yeah. Anyway,
All right. Well, this was fun.
it was.
Looking forward to everything coming up.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Truth, Tall Tales, and Whiskey.